friends and enemies. Glad you're here. This is the week that keeps on giving, apparently. It's been up and downs in my life personally, but then it gets crazy in the pop cultural world. So let's dive into one that's kind of become a bit big news to no one's surprise. Willow is canceled after one season on Disney Plus. Who would have seen this coming? Like nobody. I mean, everybody. Everybody saw this coming. According to Deadline, Willow canceled after one season on Disney Plus. There'll be no second season of Willow, Disney's live action original base or series based on the 1988 fantasy film directed by Ron Howard. The news comes 2 months after the 8-episode first season of the show, which served as a sequel to the classic movie, ended its run on the streaming platform. That's because it was terribly made. Like, you really blew it. Sorry, Disney. I mean, whoever your execs are and the people in charge of quality control, they just suck at their jobs. I don't know what to tell you. Like, you need to hire somebody who actually knows what they're talking about. I'm not even like a huge Willow fan. I don't really care about Willow, but it would at least look interesting and pull me in if it was good. Didn't even do that. So, obviously, not much I can really say on that part. But Willow, which picks up years after the events of the film, did not have the zeitgeist cultural impact of the original, but was well received by critics. Of course it was. Getting an 83% on Rotten Tomatoes. Well, yeah, access media. They want their access. You can't give it a bad rating and then still get access. That's not how this works. Like, it doesn't make sense that people, like the normies, the culturally deprived people, don't understand the simple concept that if a big company's like, come review our product, and you give them a bad review, they're not going to give you early access. They're not going to give you the good little goodies. They're not going to get you the goodie bags. They're not going to invite you to the events. It's just not going to happen. So why would you expect it to be that way? It doesn't make any sense whatsoever. So, basic function. If somebody's like, oh, this is a great film, it's bad. If they're like, this is a bad film, two possibilities. It's either really bad, like so bad they can't even like put their name on it, or it's actually pretty good. They just don't like it because it's not woke or whatever. Like something along the lines of Top Gun Maverick or any of those types of movies that don't really resonate with the masculinity is toxic kind of people, because apparently Tom Cruise is toxic because he's, masculine and wants to make good entertainment for people, whoever comes up with that idea. But the series is not going to continue, but Willow remains an important IP in the Lucasfilm library, so it might be revisited in the future. Hopefully not under somebody's particular care. The news comes as Lucasfilm, which is still run by Kathleen Kennedy, which means it's still a dumpster fire, has been reassessing its film slate. Well, yeah, because Disney has out of money, and they're burning all the bridges to all the projects that they know are going to lose the money because they're losing money. Taking time to identify the next movie of the Star Wars franchise. They're not identifying the movies in the Star Wars franchise they're going to make. They're identifying the movies and shows that they're not going to make, that they're going to remove. It's an obvious attempt for them to scramble to save a little bucks here and there and hope the parks will keep them out of the red zone, which they're not going to be able to because they blow money harder than they make it. Meanwhile, the company has built a sizable Star Wars TV footprint on Disney Plus, which is failing because it's forgettable. Everyone keeps ignoring it. Like, Mandalorian just dropped and people are already just ignoring it, that it even exists. It's like, what did you expect? You turned a really cool concept of a Mandalorian going around doing all these really cool little missions and seeing the gritty side of the underbelly of the galaxy. And we got a babysitter show. Like, the concept was cool because, like, oh, it's a Mandalorian. Mandalorians are cool. Everyone loves Mandalorians. He's got ships. He's got crewmates. He brings people on. They do stuff. He fights the Empire. He potentially fights the Rebellion. He fights everyone because he's neutral. He's a mercenary. He's a merc. But then you're like, let's give him this little baby Yoda, Grogu. And it's like, oh, it's all about baby Grogu. And it's like, but I thought it was called Mandalorian. What is what does Yoda's species have to do with that? And even if it was like a catch and release kind of like job where he goes, picks up the kid, goes off and drops him off somewhere else, that's fine for an episode. It'd be kind of silly, but at least that would be a thing. And then he's like, all right, I'm going to go back to beating bad guys or good guys or whoever he's fighting at the time and taking on contracts. You could be like the Punisher of Star Wars with, fighting criminals specifically. Just, I'm going to go get a job, going to take out some baddies, get paid. Just like you'd expect. Maybe even lead into other series of the Rise of Mandalore, which would be a cool series, all considering. So they have the Mandalorian, upcoming Ahsoka, Acolyte, and Skeleton Crew, as well as animated fare. It's not doing as good as you might think. The ones they might keep are like the continuation, if they ever continue, like the Clone Wars or any of the Dave Filoni, Jon Favreau cartoons that they had. They might keep those because they're usually well received. I don't know if everyone likes them, but they're usually well received for the most part. The cancellation comes amid increased scrutiny at the media companies, including Disney, which have been curbing streaming content spending in search of profitability. Yeah, you nailed it on the head. The very reason it's not profitable is because they don't know what they're doing. They're literally just blowing money for the sake of blowing money. It's the most weird, crazy, outrageous concept I know. Willow introduced new characters. Always a bad move. It was set in a world where brownies. Okay, brownies. You got something against brownies? Fudge? What's wrong with you? Sorcerers and trolls and other mystical creatures flourish. I didn't know brownies were mystical creatures, but okay. They ain't mystical because I get mine at home. An unlikely group of heroes. That's because they're not heroes. Set off on a dangerous quest. It's really not that dangerous, honestly. To far beyond their home. 10 feet outside the castle walls is far beyond your home. Like, it's Samwise Gamgee all over again. Like, if I take one more step, it'd be the farthest away from home I've ever been. That one scene is a million times more amazing than anything they can make in Willow. Where they must meet and face their inner demons and come together to save the world. Not that kind of coming together, buddy. Not that kind. And they name a bunch of people no one cares about. The only guy who is maybe slightly interesting in terms of anyone wanting to see him is Warwick Davis, who is playing Willow again. Jonathan Kasdan wrote the pilot and served as co-showrunner along with Why is it that we see who's writing, who the showrunner is, and instantly know it's gonna suck? Howard and writer Bob Dolman, Kathleen Kennedy and Michelle Redwin also. Anything Kathleen Kennedy touches just turns to crap. Like it's not funny anymore. It's annoying. It's just like you say, hey, check it out. They're coming out with this new series. It's gonna be really cool. It's gonna have explosions, criminal syndicates. They're gonna have all types of bribery, suspense, thriller, mystery, murder, this, that, and the other, whatever it is. What's it called? It's Baking on the 6th Street. And you're like, baking? Yes. It's gonna suck. Why? Because Kathleen Kennedy's touching it. It's the most out there thing where they think that you're just that stupid of a viewer. Like you're so stupid, you clearly could not possibly understand or comprehend that the people who touch these are the ones that are making it bad. You don't even have to watch the show to know it's going to be bad, because consistently bad writers, bad directors, bad producers, bad executives are constantly making bad stuff. It's not that complicated. It's really the most simple equation you could possibly think of. Why is this hard to understand? I don't know. But anyway, what do you guys think? Leave a comment below about whether or not you think this was expected. I mean, this was not that far after it actually just finished. Like, usually you wait until when you'd expect to hear an announcement for it to be renewed, which some series, I guess, are getting renewed before they're even finished. So maybe that's the thing. But do you think that they're going to have even more? Or not? Do you think they'll cancel more? More than likely they will. What do you think will survive the cancellation spree? That's the big one. Will it be more than Disney that jumps on this bandwagon? And will Netflix start canceling things? Will Paramount Plus start canceling things? Will Warner Bros. Cancel things? Looks like Warner Bros. Is about to slate up for a whole bunch of stuff to release, and they're low on money, if not negative in the red by a lot. But maybe, depending on how they handle the Lord of the Rings IP, they could potentially make their money back. And if they make their money back and go into the green, they'll be like the only company in Hollywood doing so. So, let me know what you guys think. Please like, subscribe. Please share the videos. Your guys' support helps us keep on trucking. And if you'd like, you can follow us on Twitter, which is just at the Questioners. You can follow on Twitch for any of the gaming streams I do, which is at the Questioners, or subscribe. It's actually no, I think Twitter is at Watt Questioners if I remember correctly. Sorry, hey, it's at WOT Questioners. Brains in a haze. It's been a week, and apparently more news keeps popping out all the time. So thanks everybody for watching. Hopefully you'll join us next time for whatever comes your way, or our way, your way. And we'll see you then. Walk in the light, my friends.